am DUD Espinidocasio from BSTM 101.
What does cultural heritage mean? Cultural heritage is an expression of the ways of living developed by community and passed on from generation to generation, including customs, practice, plays, objects, artistic expression, and values. Cultural heritage is often expressed in either tangible or intangible cultural heritage. What is tangible and intangible heritage? Tangible cultural heritage refers to physical artifacts produced, maintained, and transmitted intergenerationally in society. It includes artistic creations, built heritage such as buildings and monuments, and other physical or tangible product of human creativity that are invested with cultural significance in society. Intangible cultural heritage indicates the practice, representation, expression, knowledge, skills, as well as the instruments, objects, artifacts, and cultural space associated therewith that communities group in some cases. Individual recognized as part of their cultural heritage. Example of intangible heritage are oral traditions, performing arts, local knowledge, and traditional skills. What should be considered in cultural heritage? All peoples make their contributions to the culture of the world. That's why it's important to respect and safeguard all cultural heritage through national laws and international treaties. Preserving your culture is important. Your culture is part of your identity. If you don't preserve your culture in later generations, they'll completely forget about the beautiful culture of their ancestors. The culture and ancestors followed is precious and unique. Rice terraces of the Philippines Cordilleras history. Banawe rice terraces systems of originated rice terraces in the mountains of north-central Luzon, Philippines, that were created more than 2,000 years ago by the Ifugao people. Although located in several villages, they are collectively known as Banawe rice terraces. In 1995, first section of the terraces were designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site described as a living cultural landscape of unparalleled beauty. The rice terraces are situated in the Cordilleras of Luzon Island. The remote area, some 220 miles (350 kilometers) from Manila, has long been home to the Ifugao wheat-priced agriculture who began building the terraces about the 1st century CT despite possessing only basic tools. The Ifugao created an engineering marvel, a vast network of rice terraces as sustained by an elaborate irrigation system. According to the reports, the terraces, which resembles step carved in the mountainside, cover some 4,000 square miles, 10,360 square kilometers, and their total land is estimated at approximately 2,500 miles, half the Earth's circumference. While the rice terraces were important to the Ifugao economy, they also serve a cultural function, refer intensive cooperation among the people, plan or strategy to preserve their culture and heritage. The Ifugao rice terraces epitomize the absolute blending of the physical, social, cultural, economic, religious, and political environment. It is a living cultural landscape of unparalleled beauty. The terraces illustrate the persistence of cultural traditions, remarkable in endurance since archaeological evidence reveals that these techniques has been in use in the region for 1,000 years. Virtually unchanged, they offer many lessons for application in similar environments elsewhere. The maintenance of living rice terraces reflects a primary cooperative approach of the whole community, which is based on the detailed knowledge of the diversity of biological resources existing in the Ifugao agro-ecosystem. History of Tubataha Reefs is known for extraordinary biodiversity, abundant marine life, and breathtaking drop-off into the open ocean, and area covers 130,028 hectares of high-quality marine habitats. Also to Bataha Reefs National Park is home of great diversity of marine life such as dolphins, sharks, turtles, among the key species found here. Tubataha Reef's facts. Tubataha Reef was discovered by divers in late 70s. Tubataha is home to 374 species of coral and almost 500 species of fish. Tubataha Reefs National Park also protects one of the few remaining colonies of breeding seabirds in the region. The reefs of the property support almost 90% of coral species in the Philippines. The Tubataha Reef's location is within Coral Triangle, a global focus for coral biological diversity. In 1988, President Aquino designated Tubataha National Marine Park. The first into the Philippine history, Tubataha Reef's product major source of coral and fish larvae. That Tubataha Reef play vital role in sustaining the marine resources and productivity of Greater Sulawesi as well as the livelihoods in food supplies. The Tubataha Reef Plan or strategy to preserve their culture and heritage. Its conservation awareness program, which focuses on children, fishing communities, and the private sector to generate support for conservation and stewardship of marine environment. Similarly, the Sustainable Resources Management Program cover biodiversity, conservation, and marine productivity. The history of San Agustin Church. San Agustin Church is a Roman Catholic church under the auspices of the Order of St. Augustine, located inside the historical city of Intramuros and Manila. The first San Agustin Church was the first religious structure constructed by the Spaniard on the island of Luzon, made of bamboo and nipa. It was completed in 1571 but destroyed by fire in 1574. A second church made of wood was constructed on the site. This was destroyed again in fire in 1583. The Augustinians decided to rebuild the church using stone and to construct as well an adjacent monastery. The monastery was operational by 1604, and the church was formally declared complete in 1607. In 1993, San Agustin Church was one of the 4 Philippine churches constructed during the Spanish colonial period to be designated as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO under the classification Baroque Churches of the Philippines. The San Agustin Church also features an impressive museum, which will give you an idea of just how deep the Catholic faith runs throughout this country. Plan or strategy to preserve their culture and heritage, conservation and restoration are undertaken through offices under implementing national cultural agencies, which ensure the regular monitoring of a state of conservation, including its many concerns, threats, and problems. The canon law on the pastoral care of the cultural heritage resources of the Church is likewise being applied by the Catholic authorities. The chief manager of the Baroque churches in CCA work with NM and NHCP, ensuring that the work is done according to World Heritage Standard and in order to improve the conservation management processes so that the outstanding universal value of the properties are maintained and properly managed. What problem does cultural heritage face? Many areas are prone to natural disasters such as hurricanes, flooding, and wind. Other areas are prone to drought, fire, and earthquakes. In these areas, cultural heritage building requires special treatment. What is the importance of cultural heritage? Cultural heritage passed down to us from our parents must be preserved for the benefit of all in an era of globalization. Cultural heritage helps us to remember our cultural diversity, and its understanding develops mutual respect and renew dialogue among different cultures. How do you promote cultural heritage? Informing the people to the persuasive requirements of promotion of the cultural heritage, awakening the mindfulness and encourage people to make them feel comprehensive by the promotion of cultural heritage can be done in their different ways, such as heritage festival, freedom walk, heritage trails, heritage walk, and etc.
Thank you for watching.